What would you say to young women here? Because really, the conversation that we're trying to have here, it's not literally about aviation alone, Ishita. It's about having the freedom to pursue your dream, whatever that is. If it's to be a chef, if it's to play the saxophone, if it's to fly a plane, if it's to be a doctor. But women are held back. While this is a day of celebration, let's not pretend that women aren't held back. What would you say to women?
I think honestly, we women don't give ourselves the right to make mistakes. You know, whenever we make mistakes, it's like we made a mistake because we're a woman. No, I made a mistake because I'm human. So you have to understand that when you pursue something new, you will make mistakes. Okay? Don't take it seriously if someone, you know, passes a comment or something. Ignore it. Focus on your goal, and yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What do you say, Preeti?
I would say be proud to be a woman. Not everybody has that opportunity. So it is something that is empowering. Knowledge is power. So any profession that you take up, remember, the more that you know about it, the better you are at it, the more respect you get at it, and then there is no looking back.
Fabulous. I'm going to take one last question and then we're going to honor these women. So if we can have our first awards of the day ready. One more question, anybody? Anything about dreams, biases, stereotypes? I'm just going to, yeah. Come on up. Come on up. It's just faster to get people on stage than to get the mic on you. Come on. Hi. Come here.
Hi, I'm Meena Mishra. And as we were talking about Bollywood movies, so if your plane is hijacked, how would you feel? How would you deal with the situation? You are running out of fuel. You are running out of food. No, you are already out of food now. So no food at all, running out of fuel. And they are not allowing you to land. Nobody is allowing you to land. What would you do? How would you feel?
It's actually a great question because, you know, we'll have women soldiers on our stage later, and one of the reasons that they would say that women should not be sent into combat zones, a lot has changed. But in the early days, they used to say we can't have women in combat because what if they get taken prisoner of war and so on. A hijack situation, we've seen IC-814, a lot of us have seen it on Netflix. What are you trained to do? And of course, the training is the same whether you're a woman or a man. Captain Preeti, I'll start with you.
So we have our SOPs, standard procedures that we have to follow, which are very well vetted. And as per this, depending on the situation, so the first thing is that we listen to whatever they say, because we've got to understand it is a hijacking situation. And the safety of the passengers and the crew is paramount. So whatever it takes to be safe is what is the goal at the end.
And even if, you know, there are patients and, you know, there is no medicine around, how would you deal with that?
So the only way to deal with that is you have to negotiate if they can, get the elderly people, the patients and the children off first. So standard protocol will be maintained. And honestly, it's all laid down for us what needs to be done, and we just have to follow it.
I have to ask both of you a difficult question. Both of you are parents. I'm not saying mothers. I would have asked the same question to two male pilots as well. When you fly, it's a highly skilled profession and it's not without risk. How do you stop thinking at that moment about your family back home? Suppose you run into terrible weather, you run into a potentially risky situation, because it's assumed that women are in that way softer. This has been the assumption about us. I want to start with you, Ishita.
So at Indigo, on the cockpit door, we have a very nice saying which says, cockpit is a serious place, leave your worries at home.
Yeah.
So whenever you enter, you read it, and it sort of stays with you. Yeah.
But are you able to compartmentalize? You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Absolutely. Just
are your children here, by the way, in the audience?
No, one is on flight and the other one's at work. So.
Okay. Both boys?
Both boys.
How are you bringing them up to be boys of this generation who believe like that little child did in equality?
So
they have a great role model to start with.
No, so I have been telling them since they were kids, I'm going to bring you all up like daughters. Okay, so then you all will actually understand what it is to empathize with other people. And so I keep calling them my daughters. And of course, everybody grimaces at me, but that's part of it.
I love that. Raise your boys as if they were daughters.